Good morning, everyone. My name is Andy Hall. News you can use to fight fascism here and abroad. This is the Disappointed Cat Morning Show. I want to let you know about how we're going to run the show this morning. We're going to start off with a good story, happy story that'll make you feel good. We're going to end with a happy story, something that's going to make you feel good. But in between, it's going to be a little crazy, just a little crazy. First story here. People's convoy gets hilariously trolled by lone DC cyclist. You get a little picture here of the gentleman in question doing his duty right there, holding up traffic for the truckers. The People's Convoy got a taste of its own medicine on Saturday afternoon in DC when a single cyclist moving at a snail's pace brought the truckers to a near halt by occupying an entire lane in traffic in front of them. Hey, what are you doing? This is my trucker voice, by the way. This is my anti-vaxxer trucker voice. Hey, what? I'm trying to get as much cholesterol, saturated fat, and racism in my voice right now. Hey, what are you doing? You have a bunch of trucks behind you. A convoy live streamer and YouTuber, Jackass, that's how I'm pronouncing it, yelled at the identified cyclist while confronting him. I got a bunch of trucks behind us. In case you didn't know, you got a bunch of trucks behind you. The biker then trolled in response, "What's that? I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you. What did you say?" After the streamer snapped back, "You have a bunch of trucks behind you," the cyclist replied. "I'm sorry, I can't hear you. It's too loud." The cyclist continued to ride in front of the truckers at a plodding pace, unmoved by the line of honking rigs behind him. Okay, this is a short video. There's going to be a lot of honking, but you will see the cyclist defying the idiots right here. Let's roll the tape. Oh, that was beautiful. That was fantastic. Camped for weeks at Hagerstown Speedway, the convoy has continued to make daily treks to the Beltway and more recently to DC proper. The truckers have seemingly struggled to navigate downtown city traffic, however, often getting split up by red lights. The group has met with jeering inside the city from both pedestrians and commuters alike, whom the convoy has taken to labeling Antifa. Yeah, this guy right here riding his bike, he's classic Antifa. He's out there smashing Nazis left and right. Anything they don't understand is Antifa. It's either that or Satanists. Going to check out the chat, see how you're all doing this Monday morning. Good way to start the morning. That cyclist could have won the slow race. You're right, the girlfriend. You are correct. Checking out the chat, see how everyone's doing. Scott Duke. Good morning, Scott Duke. Big Zeb, Big Zebra, John Christian, Jenna. There you go. All right. I promised you insanity in between the positive. Oh, here we go. Scapegoat Scary says, I can't hear you. I've got a bunch of trucks behind me honking their horns and raising hell. I hope it's not important. That's right. Scapegoat. And good morning, Bonnie. Glad to see that you made it. All right. So what's our next story? A lot of videos this morning. I just want to warn you, we have a lot of videos. All right, so you ready to go into the depths of, you think to yourself, how can Nazis get more stupid? How can fascists get even more insipid? I'm going to show you a picture, and then I'm going to show you a video, and then we'll discover that Nazis, there's no bottom to stupid once again. Right Wing Watch. Lauren Witzke, who we saw last week, I think it was last week, we showed a video of her. The Delaware GOP's candidate for Senate in 2020 declares that she fully supports arranged marriages while interviewing far-right streamer Jared Noble, a.k.a. Wooza, I don't know if that's how we pronounce, who says that women are currency to be bartered and traded. check out his mom's. Yeah, he must be streaming from his mom's basement, maybe from his room in his mom's house, obviously. I love the fascist America's First flag he has there to his left, our right. Classic Nazi, everyone. All right, let's see how bad. Now you may say, I bet this conversation is going to be horrible. You have no. This is yeah. Brace yourselves. You might lose a couple of IQ points watching this.
And traded. We see in the Bible, it's not biblically unfounded. It's a lot like I'm making stuff up and being disrespectful or anything, but it's like you could trade a nice virgin bride for a half a dozen yoke of oxen. And I think if we went back to that and got rid of all this feminism crap, forget about your master's degree, forget about your career, and just go mommy mode. That's what I believe in.
Yeah. Do you think that? I think that they should also, like, you know how there used to be like dowries back in the day, like in biblical times, you'd have to I think that we should bring that back. However, okay, so I was talking with I think she was Indian woman about her arranged marriage, but here's the deal with that. Okay, so here's the deal with arranged marriages is that your parents want what's best for you. So if you let your parents choose for you, they're absolutely going to choose the best, not exactly what you want, maybe not, because of course we always choose what is the worst for us, women as a tendency. So I fully support arranged marriages. Parents having a say and choosing and choosing the family that you choose to bond yourself with. I fully support that. I think that's great. I think that we should do more of that. I think we should actually bring that back because it's really not a bad idea.
You gotta love how these right-wing fascists, right? I'm sorry, that's being redundant. They love to do improv with each other on shitty shows like that. It's like, I'm going to say something crazy. It's like, well, I'm going to agree with you. Even though the woman there, she's like Lauren, she's gritting her teeth. You can see the jaw clench as he is spouting this insanity. But because it's her shitty show, she has to yes and him. It's like, yes, and I'm against women's rights too, by the way, speaking as, a woman, and arranged marriages are great. And it is totally. What's the over under that either one of them have ever read the Bible cover to cover? This guy doesn't seem like a big reader, not a big thinker. And at first you may say to yourself, wow, he looks like a complete idiot with those glasses on. Did you see him when he took off the glasses? Not a good look. Keep the glasses on. That's my suggestion, Mr. Wooza. All right. Blazing. Good morning, Blazing. Got some good news from Denmark about Denmark today. That's the last story we're going to be covering. Parents having a say in arranged marriage is not the same. Arranged marriage is when you meet your husband at 4 and then again at the wedding night where the stranger wants you. Blazing Wizard Pope, you're not going to make a good National Socialist that way by paying attention to words and figuring out what the meaning of words are, What's up, imaginary god? He does have a troll's hairstyle, Scapegoat Iscariot. You're right about that. He's got Mr. Wooza there. What's the picture? Oh man, almost so too idiotic to breathe. And of course, he's very popular amongst the right wingers. Right? He's had a picture taken with Donald J. Trump, of course. And you may say that they're just, his fans will say they're just joking. And it's like everyone's just joking up until the time that The Handmaid's Tale becomes real, right? Everyone thought the Ugandan dictator Idi Amin was joking up until the time bodies were put into shallow graves. People thought Benito Mussolini, he was just joking until things started happening. All right, halftime Tummy Rub show, not yet. What do you get? This is an awkward transition. What do you get when you add Texas and Florida together? This link is not in the description below. Most of the stories are. But when you add Texas and Florida together, you get some kind of craziness. This is from CNN. Disney said it regrets a performance at its Orlando theme park by a high school cheerleading squad after it received backlash for the routine's depiction of Native Americans. A widely circulated video of the Port Neches, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, high school Indianettes from Texas shows the team dancing and chanting, "Scalp 'em, Indian scalping," while performing moves that appear to be appropriate Native American culture in a parade of Disney's Magic Kingdom theme park. I say, though, I read those words and you say to yourself, and it doesn't really give justice to the complete insanity of this Texas meets Florida and the Indianettes. And let's see how bad was it. A lot of Republicans are saying right now, I don't see what's the problem with that. Because isn't that what they did? Wasn't there scalping all over the place? Oh. And the name of the band, the Indianettes. Gobsmacked. Just gobsmacked with that. Just gobsmacked. Big Zeb. So I'm not even going to read that comment you just wrote down. That is funny, hilarious, and appropriate too. But I think if I read it, I'd probably get banned from YouTube. There, Inquisitor Bacon said, "Did Texas think it was time to out Florida? The Florida, I think it was." And the defense of the high school, and this is the classic defense, right? Is that we've always done it like this. We've done this for the last 50 years, and this isn't the first time that the Indianettes appeared on Main Street USA, because that's the name, of Disney World's main thoroughfare, Main Street USA. So they've done this, I believe, 8 different times. And that's their defense too. So we've always done it like this. We've done it for 50 years and we've been allowed to do it. This is the 8th time we've done it. As if any of those are good reasons to keep doing the same shitty thing. I live next to a reservation, and they have events. The native tribes have events all the time. Their dance and song is nothing like that. Well, that's how the girlfriend. Okay, so the reason why she put down where my kids went to high school, where my child still goes to high school, Braintree, Massachusetts. I believe in naming and shaming Braintree, Massachusetts. Their sports teams are the Wamps, short for Wampatucket. The Wampatucket Native Americans, the Wampatucket tribe, one of the tribes that, helped out the Pilgrims, right? When they first came here to this country. And the sports teams are the Wamps in Braintree, Massachusetts, and they are dead set against changing their name. And their slogan is "Go Wamps." Julie Wine and Reason says, "I wouldn't be surprised if that cheer happened in the 1980s. Oh yeah. Now, so much cringe. So there's cringe and even more cringe. All right. So I feel like a lot of this show, I've been making you all stupider, to tell you the truth. We've been going into this dark place of idiocy. And the last story we're going to do after the break, it is going to be much more positive. I want to tell you this. And it's going to be about the happiest nations on earth are strongly secular. No surprise to anyone here, especially to our friends in Scandinavia, Nordic countries in Europe. No surprise, but let's take a break, take a look at a cat, because this is the Disappointed Cat Morning Show, and no ads on this channel, everyone. Supported by viewers like you, YouTube members, patrons, people who throw shekels, super chats too, always appreciated. But let's take a look at and take a break for a second.
The things a cat will do to wake you up in the morning.
I think that's a genius move by that cat. That cat is like the Albert Einstein of domesticated cats right there, everyone. That's what I think, at least. Okay. The last story from Professor Phil Zuckerman over on Only Sky. What? Is that where I do my comedy blog? Yes, it is. In fact, Only Sky. The happiest nations on Earth are strongly secular. What happens when millions of people in a given society stop going to church and lose their faith in God? Does that society descend into despondency and despair? Not according to the latest World Happiness Report released the last week. Based on an analysis of a host of sociological, economic, and psychological factors, the nation that is currently happiest on Earth for a 5th year in a row is Finland. Following Finland in the top 10 are Denmark, Iceland, Switzerland, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Sweden, Norway, Israel, and New Zealand. And it just so happens that all of them are among the most secular, least religious nations on Earth, aside from the outlier Israel, which is growing more religious as it grows more brutal and undemocratic. It's funny how nations can become, how those variables are related. Less democratic, more brutal, and more religious. Outside from the outlier Israel, which is growing more religious as it grows more brutal and undemocratic, all the top 10 happiest of nations have experienced dramatic degrees of secularization over the last century. Look, everyone, we've covered this story many, many times, but it's important to show the new data as it comes in. Yes, it turns out that less shitty societies that have a good social safety net, societies that have clean water, clean air, you don't have to worry about going bankrupt because of medical bills. Once again, it's important to point out that 66.5% of bankruptcies in this country, in the United States of America, are due to medical bills. And when you don't have a society living in fear, they become less religious. Now, let's continue what Professor Zuckerman has to say on this topic. But the variables included in the study, such as subjective measures of well-being, calmness, and a feeling at peace, the rankings make sense if by happy we don't mean ecstatically joyful, but rather experiencing a general sense of contentment. On that front, the strongly secular nations that are in the top 10 deserve to be there with their extensive systems of welfare capitalism. They experience the highest degrees of freedom in the world, while also the lowest levels of inequality. It's almost as if when you have unequal distribution of wealth, that warps the entire system, because the rich game the system to make themselves richer while creating a more miserable society. In a more miserable society, what does that make, everyone? It makes a more religious society. These countries enjoy a free or highly subsidized healthcare, childcare, elder care, education, and so forth. Their societies are extremely safe and humane. No wonder their citizens are the most content and happy in the world. But what is the relationship between these nations' happiness and their secularity? It seems that happy people are more secular overall. People who are feeling safe, people who are feeling more secure, are more likely to be secular. good societies make less shitty people, basically. How can you believe this clown being popular in Denmark? Let's face it. Or in Sweden, or having such a huge following as he does here in the States. I'd be hard to believe. It'd be hard pressed to believe that, everyone. So what it isn't that secular states make people happy as much as happy states make secular people. And that's an important thing to point out. So it's just as important, if not more important, to get people to vote for left of center policies as it is to try to deprogram Christians, right? To argue with Christians, or to argue to get people out of the faith. I just want to point that out for my fellow atheist YouTubers out there. All right, I'm checking out the comments in this section here. The Russian oligarchs seem pretty happy. Well, that's the thing about the affluent against the oligarchs, against billionaires. The rich get richer at the expense of the everyday people. So while the oligarchs might be happy, the general society kind of shitty. What else we have going on here in the chat? Marmaduke Scarlett says, Finland, the country where I most long to be. Yeah, five years in a row. Finland is the happiest country on the planet. All right. I think that's it, everyone. I think that's the show. Hey, we're doing the after party after show, which is an open room for Democrats, atheists, progressives. Link to be on the panel is in the description below. If you want to watch, it's on our sister channel. That link is in the description below too. That show starts at 9:30. Nothing rhymes with orange. That's right. Except orange or l'orange. I don't know. I'm just saying words. I'm going to drop another cat video plus a thank you video for supporters. And I'll see you at 9:30 on the other channel. Hopefully, if not, I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Take care.